Hello everybody, it's JP the Third for Vince Now, and we're back with Citizen Sleeper. Although we don't really have a lot of time, and not nearly good enough dice to figure this out. I thought I saved it in much better conditions, but apparently I did not. So we're just gonna have to deal. That's fine. It's fine. It is fine. We just gotta figure it out. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Start with this. Figure out where all we have to put stuff, to put it mildly. I know, let's see. What dog? That's not it. There's an area where I have to install things worm. This dice roll is not favorable to me at all. I feel like I'm just going to use everything. Yeah. Okay, neither of these are good. Scale the spoke, enter the spoke. Tangle network of service passages and makeshift tunnels cut through the spoke. There are no maps here. So basically we can just climb straight up it, or just walk inside. Neither are particularly appealing, but those are our options. So I could have swore, and maybe I'm tripping, I'm gonna have to go back and look at the playthrough from last time. But I could have swore, oh yeah, I'm definitely staying here too long because I'm just going to attract the hunter. But I could have swore I had fairly good odds last time. Or a fairly good dice setup last time, which, I don't know, maybe I should have just played it right at that point. Let's figure this out. Oh, that is no bueno. Wow. I got money at least. I'm gonna use all my dice up on this. Wow. Amazing. Man, when RNG is, okay, that was positive. I was about to say, when RNG is against you, it is against you. There's just no other way to put it. Alright, let us see here. I've already been here. Let me go back to, where's Fang's little makeshift, what? Oh, the shipyard. If there's anything I can do here, because I'm out of dice, but would have been nice. Yeah, Fang's little stowaway is gone, so maybe objectives? W tracker. Build a ship mine. Okay, this is going to be a thing, and I'm just going to have to be okay with it. Let's see. Hopefully my next time around will be better odds. Sleeper. Infants calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of chopped mushrooms onto his wok, the fire leaping up to meet the oil. I see you. Cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. Kind. Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. Well, one of yours. He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. You pause, the spice is rich in your nostrils, and think about the kind of story you like to tell Infus. You look at Infus, the listener, and imagine he's heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story. Something with some spice. All the sleepers, you tell Infus, have had dreams. Some were simple, memories left over from the emulation process that had become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorm scream or cry out at night. But in your dreams, those gray skeletal afterimages of systems and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality. Distorted, yes, but somehow true. You learned back then to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. Why do I feel like he's going to tell somebody this and we're going to get found out? And that wasn't until now, until you arrived in this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids with every blink. And now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one like smoke through air. You tell them you do not know if they're the reason for your dreams. Perhaps, you reason, it is just some side effect, or a particular quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is a gift, and you hope to make use of it. Emphasis finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles. You are quite the storyteller. He eyes you, and you realize that he's trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Emphasis passes you the meal he has cooked. You take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks, a natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the empty market. But my time is done for today, and I do not want to keep you longer, so I will make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind the stall. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think, a couple of cycles ago. They said that across the gap, in the Greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No? Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me this. Emphasis begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind, he smiles. I'm sure a storyteller like you can handle the trip. I will prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Agreed. Good, booms Emphasis. And I will wait for you to bring them. Emphasis slides his walk away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Emphasis food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, you think. A trade that seems more than fair. Nice. We don't actually have a choice at this point. There's only one thing we can do is sleep and hope for a better roll. Come on, RNG gods. That's better. But we're almost out of time. I need to figure out where to put this worm. Come on! All right. Now we're talking. But I can't salvage it anymore. Squeeze into the office at the entrance of the yard. You lay out everything you have on the winter light across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on Draggle's his old writing slate, overlapping lines and squad annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay, a crumpled printout from the office's ship registry beside them, synthetic paper so thin it's almost transparent. A plain list shows the registration history of the Winter Light, the gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. His first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, locked at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages to keep it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The Winter Light got little rest. Excuse me. Reactor failure. That's a verdict that anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps on the remains of the Winter Light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in sections, blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose, radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story, a catastrophic failure of the drive core, leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. Try looking at the rows of the reactor. You're looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint size and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external lock. It suggests a control-shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You're looking at it because it is troubling you. Your attempt at a reconstruction of the Winter Light before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inhabitants, we'll go with that, configurations. The new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy. A lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the colors rounded, to disguise the charge. They are there. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winter Light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It's a little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course. Wow. But the Winter Light had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments. Armored, air-walled. The list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details some contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some you don't. Ship mine, RNs, shimmer, cryo chain codes, and then the final entry, passenger sleeper. We were on this ship. You stare at the list of the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here. In the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter, luckier? Or, well, I guess not us, but another sleeper body. How had they convinced the Winter Light, a smuggler's ship, if you ever saw one, to extract them from SNR? Luckier, he laughed. There had been no remains found on any of the Winter Light's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you could find in the compartment. A parting gift from SNR. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it back in your pocket. The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard? 2, one after the other? That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between datasets on the terminal, thinking, and you see the thumbprint again, the marker of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winter Light with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Drago stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you have assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk, faster than you realize he could move. You're running an investigation here. What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing to it through its implants. Where's this ship from? Leave this alone. He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself, it's the last thing I need. The ship had a sleeper on it. Drago freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you to look at the terminal, at the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You're lucky it was you that made it alive, not them. He folded his arms indignantly. Drago seems to steady himself and then turn back to you. The heat map of the reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eye. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbled over the words, unsure of what to say. There are plenty others who would have sold you who would have sold you on, turn you in. But not me. No. I know. He softens. Look, you helped me too. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you. You've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have for this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you were after, he sighs. You can't work here. You can't work here anymore. What about the window light? He reaches over and switches the monitor off. Forget about the damn ship. You have enough to keep you up. Dragos reaches across you and flicks off the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever it was done. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. What if they come for me? And you run. You didn't come here, you don't scream, you don't shout. You don't come here, you don't scream, you don't shout. You run. In the dark, Dragos' headset blinks, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door open for you, his headset as expressionless as always. You stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office and in out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this, at least, guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the winter light, and whether or not that person will come for you. They're definitely coming for me. There's no doubt in my mind about that one. But we bought ourselves some time, so we have to take it. So whoever destroyed that ship was there to kill the other sleeper. I'm guessing maybe the company or somebody else told him to scrap it and to destroy the evidence. But yeah, places like this, you just don't ask too many questions. Oh, this is what our friend wants, but there is absolutely no way. Not 150. We need a lot more time. I need to figure out Fang. I need to figure out Fang's thing before I do anything else. Okay, so this is how we built the ship mine when the traders come in. I'm just gonna click through all this for a second so I can figure out exactly where this is supposed to go. Like, I probably should not have forgotten quite this fast, but I don't know. Maybe it's in the hunter screen, or the wiring screen. I don't think I need Havenish data anymore, but I also don't know exactly where I'm supposed to put this worm. At the risk of getting in a lot of trouble. We have an encrypted key. Yeah, when that thing gets full, it's our ass, to put it very nicely. Still, the encrypted key may come in handy. This is about to go so wrong. Yeah. That was a mistake. Can I take back that action? Oh well, I may have to start from the top on that one. That I said it while I was doing it. It was gonna go wrong. Oh well. Yeah, that was a mistake. Let's see what trouble I'm about to get in. Well, if I would have waited one turn, I would have got what I needed. Hot damn. Excuse me, but hot damn. Mistakes will be made. That's kind of the point of doing this whole thing live, so let me not complain too much. But I still need to figure out exactly what I'm doing. I feel like it's gonna be my ass either way, so it's like, I botched that one pretty quickly, didn't I? Game over fairly soon. And I still didn't figure out where to put the worm. Akita crashed in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself while you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruined the core's connectors when they cut it. She holds up a thick fistful of ragged wires. Ship mine they rip won't even be usable without replacing these. She throws the bundle of wires across the room. Amateurs. You can repair it? There's nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mine. Not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up from a scrap freighter. She sighs. Fragments, maybe. Sections of a mine, but a complete ship mine? No way. Akita climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mine should be. The space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you. Towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on, nothing to be done here. She leads you back through the guts of the amber. Though you can find your way back yourself, the repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout. All diagonal angles and bundled tubes. What do you do now? Akita seems lost in thought, and you focus on the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through bulkheads. Eventually you arrive in a galley, though it's hard to tell. Most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped components and welded hull patches. Akita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it. She starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship line. I can salvage one. I like your confidence, Sleeper. Maybe if we check the ore exchange or speak to some scrap dealers. She rubs her forehead. It seems I'm about to do something very stupid, but hey, I came here, didn't I? Why not make a run of it? She fixes you with a hard stare. Sleeper, you're all I got. No crew, no friends, you're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you put in on Amber, and I'm sure she would too, if she could. What I'm saying is, if you screw me on this, I will kill you. A big stack of chits. You don't dare to count them. Give me that ship, my Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. You won't. She sighs. Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach a hand out to calm her. Time to find Akita's ship line. Somehow. Dear Lord, that's probably all the money she's got. So, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. We pay half, she pays half. That did anything. It didn't do any. I don't think it did anything for now. Yeah. We got something, but we need to start assembling, and that's going to take time. Time we may not have. Let's see what trouble we're about to get in, shall we? Luckily we're stable and we got plenty of energy. If we need to run, we can. And we've got a good setup. We've got a good roll this time. Hold it there, Sleeper. Comes the voice from behind you. Don't you run. I feel like saying still is the worst possible option, but screw it. Good. A hand pats your coat down. You know your master's voice. Ethan spins you around. He's wearing a wire smirk and a sleek jacket, and you immediately know he has terrible news. You got all the way out here and then stayed put? He laughs a cruel laugh. That's the Sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You notice the handgun that he has leveled at your chest. It's hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out of the belt loop without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though, that's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of the asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons. He splits the ring into two perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer on a contract. He reaches out over to slide the rings around your wrist. Go easy. Nah! You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knock him away, and sprinting down the corridor. Then the shots ring out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the wall behind your head. You freeze and Ethan closes the gap. This is a very boring routine. Trust me, I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrist. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles. Going easy. You stumble down the corridor. Your hands behind you, your mind racing. Who hired you? Your daddy's at SNR. They want you home for dinner. Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to call him all this way. Shame. I'm gonna get this right. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to SNR right away. That track of yours makes this too quick. I was hoping you put a bit more of a chase, you know? A running battle through the bright market maybe, or a holdout in the low end. There are a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I was around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That SNR tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea. Ethan interrupts your thought. How about on the way back to the ship, we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. I have a better idea. This better not be one of those where you do a dramatic pause and then try to jump me, because I'm pretty tired of that. Although, amuses Ethan, I got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we're headed for the exit. He pauses and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea, starts Ethan. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. He turns you to face him. You run or leave or try and abandon the eye, I shoot you. Plot or scheme, try to kill me, I shoot you. But, he smiles, you come meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles, and you pay my tab, I don't shoot you. He pauses. You don't pay my tab, he rattles his handgun. You get the idea. This guy is terrible. I get it. Okay then, that sounds to me like a deal. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something at his belt and the rings release from your wrist. I'm going to see if I can find my old stool at the compressor club. Come meet me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides out down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? Pay. Maybe if you manage to pay his tab, Ethan will leave you alone, which will think of behalf, but what else can you do? Really, we're just buying ourselves a little bit more time. Hopefully, by paying his tab, if we can just, we're waiting for him to run up a tab. That gives us time to try and figure out how to disable the tracker. He can track us by how we look, but without a signal broadcasting to him, it's a much bigger problem than he's letting on. So that's what we're doing basically at this point. Well, at least we don't have the sort of Damocles hanging over our head anymore. Alright. Lemon Mina. Okay. So, what? Oh. So I can screw, oh yeah, I can screw her over. That's all that is. I can just screw her over. You're looking like, wait, they have a ship mine? No, they do not. Unit assembly. This. Big step up from what we're used to. From the walkway, the side rail horizon looks impossibly vast. The landscape of plating, frames, all along her flanks, torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. She's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning at the railing. He is thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches at the side rail horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lim, he leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out at the ship. And this is Mina, he asks with a smile. Hi, Lim. Hi, he replies plainly, then shifts a little closer down the rail. Mina stares and tucks herself behind Lim, who dutifully picks her up. Mina looks out from Lim's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You're working on her then? Lim asks eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship, or just admiring? He shifts Mina's weight to the other arm. Admiring. Understandable, he nods, gazing back out at the side rail horizon. You like her too, don't you, Mina? He jostles her a little. She's Mina's my ticket out of this place. Our escape victor, so to speak. Ship? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes the Havenage contract on the side rail horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep the journey through, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina, if it means a landfall on a new world. He winks. Transit support. Someone needs to stay awake to keep the thing running. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. The Solar Foundation is sending thousands to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Solar Foundation. They are Havenage's client. Yeah, some wealthy progeny from the core systems, interested in independence and self-sufficiency and all that. They hired the whole shipyard out, helped rekit it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose, but it doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Hattie, she whispers. Food, pulling an exaggerated grumpy face. She glances furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hangs from Lim's neck. I'm just chatting, little meanie. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you, and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Havenage crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. For sure. He looks out at the side rail horizon, as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hull. You've got to hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he's talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. You read, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me, she says it stubbornly, daring you to question her. Lim smiles and lifts Mina. That's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We're just a couple of softies, isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns away and then walks down the shipyard, then walks down the walkway away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and then a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot! Her shout echoes down the walkway. She flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lim. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the side rail horizon. And take it out. I have a feeling this story is going to break our heart. Mine and everybody else's. Working the side rail crew. They're not going to make it easy for us, are they? Can't just make our money and go. So I accomplished both for what it's worth. Solheim done. Unlock me. So this is where we have to do the work. We get past here, but we're on the watch list. So really, we've done ourselves kind of a disservice on this one. If we had just focused on that instead of stealing the plants, we would have been all right. But let's try not to awake the. All right, we got 2 keys. Let's try not to awake the hunter. Like, I will at some point replay this game. I will not make the same mistakes. Neovin 33. Interesting. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusting plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. As you look closely, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settled into an alcove in the side of the dock. A kind of upright cabinet. It is covered in faded logos and messages, from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor. Intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as Neovin, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration, chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. You reach for the keypad and something begins whirring. At first it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, then a multi-tonal voice that emanates from Neovin. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. The hunter. Who's there? There's a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath. Before the machine speaks again. I have need of you. You have need of me. That squeal comes again. And you see that it is the 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place, so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining voice. You are in danger. Are you the vending machine? A squeal. Chose this vessel for its seclusion. Please listen. Machine creaks. You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you. The screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure, the threats closing in. The hunter protocol. They taste your signature. The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind. You close your eyes and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. Emulated minds are adaptable. Move where neurons can't. The mechanisms reset. But emulation makes you a target. How? Hunter searches for illegal entities. Neovin screeches. You are sentient, therefore illegal. The servos judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me also. Hide in this machine. You look at the ruined vending machine, an unusual hiding place for sure. Can counter Hunter, but need entity outside machine. Light flickers. Need you. A screen attached to the vending machine displays the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly, threaded. The cloud, pointing along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build a nest, explains Neovin. Masters look on, but continues hunt. Bring this data. Raid its nest. Masters. Station builders. Solheim. The machine rumbles impatiently. long gone. Their protocol is still haunt. Bring offerings, save self, Neovin says pointedly. Mutual need means friends. Mutual need means friends. They conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops. As mechanisms within the machine clicks back into place, the glow fades, and you're left stood in the dark of the sealed docks, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. So, we may have a way. Because the next time we dive in there, it's going to get me. I don't have anything to start with, do I? Not right now. Before I do this, there's one more thing I really do need to do, and that is explore the low end. Or is it the free spoke? I think it's the spoke. Yeah. This will get me to meeting somebody here, but I don't have the time at the moment. Let me try. I'll try something here first, shall I? Let's try scaling the smoke. We're not gonna play that game again. We are not. We use that here. No one knows you're here. You need to change that if you want access to low-end residents and facilities. Alright. I think we can safely put a pin in it there. I think I've done enough damage in this session. So, well, let's go ahead and save. We're stable, but we have very, very limited time to get some stuff done. So hopefully in the next session, we'll figure out exactly what I need to do to save my ass. We're starting off with a decent roll at least. But that'll be for next time. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. And good news, I figured out how to turn the English back on in Lightcraft, so we'll be back on that fairly soon. Looking forward to continuing that series because I really do enjoy their work. Allison Distis. I tripped on the name, even if I'm sometimes critical. But that'll be for next time. Catch y'all in the next one.